Hi, you're listening to Dusk to Dawn, reading horror and weird fiction. We're your hosts, Amber and Dan.
Find any trigger warnings in our episode notes. We're happy you're joining us and enjoy the show. Thanks for joining us. This is our first interview on the podcast. It's going to help kick off our season 2. So really excited to have you. I should say your name, Jessica Lacy.
It is Jessica Lacy, and thank you guys for having me. I think I forced myself here.
Great. We're glad you did.
No, we love it. This feels like a long time coming. So
Yeah, you told me that you guys were going to be discussing the books and and I was like, I'll talk. I'll come on. Hey, why not?
Amber, why don't you give us a little precursor of your fandom, because you're the one who introduced me.
I love it. Yeah. Call me out right off the bat. Yeah. So funny enough, I just graduated from a book publishing program here in Portland, I think 2 years ago now. I don't know. Time's a blur. But
yeah, really.
Right when I was finishing the program, I figured out that what I want to do is edit specifically for horror genre and work with horror authors and stuff. And then I was at our local Powell's and saw Tastes Like Candy, which was surprising to me because after I bought it and took it home and looked you up, I don't think you really sell in store, right? Like you've mostly been on Amazon.
I've everything that up until this point, everything I've published has been through Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing. And the way that their system works, Taste Like Candy is very short. So I was able to click a little box in the back end of Amazon and it will sell to stores that want to order it or can order it. But not a lot of people did because I've never promoted these books before. I've never done any kind of paid advertising ever. It was all word of mouth, all Amazon's algorithm spitting me at people. But somebody at Powell's must have heard of me and gone in and ordered it. And that's how it happened.
That's awesome.
But for the most part, no, I was never in bookstores and I've never been able to be in libraries. I'm really excited about that one because I love libraries.
Yeah. Same.
Are you going will you have books in libraries? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Anybody that wants to read them will be able to request them just like any other book from now on, which is really exciting.
Cool.
I had some, like a while ago, some indie librarians and indie bookstores have reached out to me several times and I'm like, I don't have the apparatus for this, but I wish I did. Like, I wish I could do something. And now I can.
That's awesome.
Because I am no longer indie. I have a real publisher now, Source Books.
So I'm curious on that topic. I had listened to a podcast that you recorded or at least that was released in 2024 on Killer Prose. And you were talking about at that point of being an indie author, and you were publishing under a different name.
I was publishing under the name Ivy Tholen for a very, very long time. So if anybody's heard of me, that's the name they've heard of. I had every intention of staying independent. I was going to publish at least 2 books this year by myself. And sometime around Thanksgiving, someone messaged me on Instagram and was like, hi, I'm an editor with Source Books. Let's have a chat. And I researched her extensively before I responded because I wanted to make sure it was a real person. And I did, and she was real. And there was something, I don't know, it's really difficult to kind of explain. When I started writing this, Taste Like Candy was written in 2020. The reason that I wrote it is because I wanted to read it. I wanted to read some sort of fun, girly, bubblegum slasher that was a genuine slasher and not just, oh, someone was poisoned, let's solve the mystery. Like, I wasn't into that. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of that out there. Like, Stephen Graham Jones hadn't even published the My Heart's a Chainsaw trilogy. Clown in a Cornfield came out later that year. But for the most part, it was a lot of underground, really extreme stuff. And I wrote it for myself. And I kept writing for myself. And I kind of started watching other slashers that I didn't really think were as good as mine started to get attention. And I was like, when I had a publisher in front of me, I was like, you can give me legitimacy. That's the only thing that I want. The only difference between some of these books and mine is that my trashy slasher was made by me and not by a real publisher. So that was what she kind of offered me, was legitimacy. And she didn't know that was what I was after, but she offered me that and I kind of jumped on it. And as part of the process, I didn't have an agent. I didn't have anybody representing me. And I ended up with, like, my favorite author is Grady Hendrix, and I ended up at his agency.
Yes, I love him. He's great.
I saw, because I had somebody set me up with a few agents to talk to, because when you have a deal on the table, it's very easy to get one. And when I saw the URL for the email, I was like, oh my God, that's Grady Hendrix's agency. And like 2 days later, I was signed with them, and it's been very, very fast and very, very slow all at the same time.
That's really cool. That sounds like publishing.
Yeah,
hurry up
exactly.
and wait.
But if Meg hadn't reached out to me, I wasn't querying, I wasn't doing any of that kind of thing. If she hadn't reached out to me, I'd still be publishing, and we'd probably have 2 more books by now. Yeah, but we're going to get those, and they're going to be professionally done, and it'll be better.
That's exciting.
Well, I know one of the reasons you really impressed Amber, and myself too, when she introduced me to Taste Like Candy, is that even when you were self-publishing, your book is like really well done. I mean, it looks professional.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. I went to art school, so I have lots of friends that are in design and art and that kind of thing. I have a really good friend, Paul Saharsky, he does all of my covers, and he, as part of my contract, he was allowed to come along with me to source books. So he redid the Taste Like Candy cover. So the new Taste Like Candy is still him. And then he's working on a new cover for Mother Dear, which has been renamed to Fatally Yours, and some other stuff. And we're already planning, like the first brand new book doesn't come out until spring of 2027, but we're obviously working on that one right now. So that one's going to be really, really cool. I'm thinking lots of yellow, orange, red, fire type of cover. We haven't done that before.
Fun.
Yeah, we haven't done that before, so I'm excited. But he got to come along with me. But Taste Like Candy especially, that was just me and him. Like, he did the cover, I did the layout, I did the editing, I did everything by myself. I didn't even have beta readers for that.
Wow. That's crazy. That's awesome. You are very good at what you do then, because
Thank you.
a lot of people have all those things and it's still like,
I know.
well, you know.
Oh, I know. I pick up books and I'm like, how did this happen? I don't know. I think for me, it's being bored more than anything else. I think that it's, for a basic thriller concept type of thing, it's really easy to just have it be all the same, which is one of the things that I was looking for. I was looking for something different. And then whenever I started doing it, I wanted to do something a little bit different than everybody else. And that's why I translated all the cool kills and all the dialogue. Everything that I do is extremely inspired by film. Like, I'm intentionally trying to write slasher movies you can read. Like, it's an intentional thing. I'm trying to bring all the slasher bros in to the reading, because there's a lot of really great stuff going on in horror and film, but there's even better stuff going on in horror and literature right now.
You know, I'll even say, I'll jump in real quick. When she first gave me Taste Like Candy, I was a little apprehensive because I don't really like slasher movies, mainly because I feel like there's just no character development.
Yeah.
And I need a little bit of that. So I was kind of like, am I going to like this? It's kind of YA until people start dying. But I loved it. And I was wondering, like, can a book do well as a slasher? Because part of this, like, the excitement of it is, you know, like, just so much action. And I loved it. I thought it was really great because you do get the more insight to the characters that a book can offer that is more difficult for a movie, while still having, you know, a mid-sized cast. And the kills are brutal and awesome and totally translate to the book. So kudos to you. I'm not a slasher bro, and now I'm becoming one.
I am totally a slasher bro.
My editor doesn't like horror at all. Okay, so you are a slasher bro. So what's your favorite slasher movie?
Yeah, so I would say my favorite slasher movie, for a long time, I would say it's Halloween, just because that was like one of the first ones I saw and I absolutely loved it. And I just, like, in the last year or so, rewatched it yet again. But I guess I had a different, like, lens on, because I watched it and I was like, this is the most goofy movie. Like, the scene where he's quote unquote chasing them in the car, but they're going like 5 miles an hour down the street. Yeah. And you're like, this isn't even scary. So it was just, that was fun. But gosh, I would still say it's Halloween. That's still my favorite. I can't not say that.
Mine has always been Nightmare on Elm Street. Always. I've always been obsessed with Freddy. Since probably, like, I was 7 years old, I think is when I've been able to trace it back. The posters for Dream Warriors haunted me as a child.
Oh yeah, so good.
And I wasn't allowed to watch horror. That's how I got into the whole idea of slasher movies as books is because I wasn't allowed to watch that kind of stuff, but I was obsessed with the idea. I would go into the video store and run to the kids section, pick whatever, give it to my mom, and then troll the horror aisles and pick up the stuff. And she said even before I could read, I was picking up those books.
I love it.
Because a lot of those older horror movies, they do have really fun, almost kid-friendly type of covers. They're like candy for little kids. And my book is not for anybody who's never seen it, it's got a cotton candy skull on the cover. And it kind of looks, we know you were saying it's a little YA. They are marketing it as YA. And I had a friend tell me, because it doesn't feel like YA to me. I didn't sit down and
Yeah, I
intentionally
agree.
write YA. And it kind of makes me nervous that they're published. I mean, obviously they know what they're doing. It makes me nervous being like YA, because they are very brutal books. And my friend pointed out to me, he was like, if Scream was a book, it would be YA simply because of the ages of the kids. And I was like, oh, that's a great way to put that. Because I don't hold back on the kills. I don't go too over the top. I've seen some really insane stuff. And when I went back over Tastes Like Candy, I did take a couple of tiny things out on my own in a couple of the kills that I thought were a little too much and leaned. Like, there was a mention of a bra, and I was like, I don't want to have anything even remotely sexual sounding. So I cut a lot of that stuff out.
Do we still get the drill through the cheek? Because I like that.
Yes, you still get the drill through the cheek. It goes somewhere else instead of in the bra. I like that you remember that specific thing.
I actually, as I was reading, noted how each character was killed. So,
did you notice a pattern? I tried to do it originally. I tried to do it so that, like, the smart girl got her head crushed. The girl that doesn't eat sugar gets cotton candy around her head. It doesn't necessarily hold up 100%, but that was the original goal behind all of that.
Yeah, it's great. You could rename it like "Beware of Your Face."
Beware of your face. I like that. That would sell real well. Way better than Tastes Like Candy. Yeah. You are not allowed to name any book ever.
I would pick up Beware of Your Face.
Okay, yeah, but I think I would think of it as a different genre. Like, we're getting a little closer to Silence of the Lambs here.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that was it. I wasn't able to watch them as a kid, but I was able to read whatever I wanted. And I got addicted to Fear Street books. And when I got older, the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm going to write my own Fear Street book because no one's writing Fear Street for adults. And that's kind of how it all took off. And that was always my going back to, because I write, everything is in the same universe, everything Easter eggs, blah, blah, blah. But I do that to entertain myself more than anything.
I've noticed that. Yeah. I've noticed that the carnival is also mentioned in Mallrats and obviously in Tastes Like Candy too and stuff. So, yeah,
there's a lot more coming up because I just really love doing stuff like that. It's hard to create characters and then not use them elsewhere. Because if they made it out alive of a slasher, they're probably fun to stick around with.
Yeah.
How much research do you put into your kills? Or do you have a process, or do you just get flashes of sick inspiration?
Well, that's actually, because if you're doing a slasher, you gotta start with the kills. I think I always tend to know the beginning of something and the end of something, and then once I figure those things out, I kind of start piecing the kills into that. So if you're doing a carnival, it's pretty easy. You figure out what in a carnival can kill somebody, and then I have encyclopedic knowledge in my head of all different kinds of kills. The brand new one that I'm working on, I wanted to do something involving a lawnmower. So I made a list of every movie involving lawnmower kills I know of, and then I went Googling and I did research and I watched clips of all of those. And then I have a few horror friends that I'm like, okay, so let's talk. Do you know of any lawnmower kills that are not on this list? And we bounce it off of each other. Because I don't want to copy, but everything has already been done. So it's a matter of figuring out what's not been done and how can you twist it.
How you can make it, and how it fits into your story, because it's always going to be a little different that way. And
then I create the characters around the kills, basically. I come up with the kills before I come up with the characters. I don't know. I think because I am known for having realistic characters and believable characters in slashers. It sounds really counterintuitive when I say it out loud. But like I said, I knew the smart girl was gonna have her head crushed, so
Well, that
Yeah.
negates my question then, if it was hard to kill any of the characters, because if you're creating the characters around the kills, then you already know they're going to die. So you're not pantsing it over there. Or at least not in that sense.
It's going to get harder. I can tell you, because there's people who matter are going to die in Taste Like Candy 3. And I'm not looking forward to it. And because originally I had like 5 or 6 survivors, I think. And some of them are new characters, most of them are old characters. And I was looking at it and I was like, what do I hate about slashers whenever they're bad? What was one of the things that gets me? And it's that too many people survive. So I was like, okay, so half of these people have to die.
At least, yeah.
At least. Because, I mean, I just randomly rewatched the most recent Scream movie. Like 5 people survived that. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that.
Too much life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching a romance movie and they don't get together in the end.
Yeah, breaks the rules.
Yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, I think it's very, 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 very important to just start murdering everyone.
And that makes it a better read, too.
It does, because it's what everybody's there for.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, make people care before you smash somebody's head open. And I think I have a lot of people ask me, like, would you want it to be a movie? Well, obviously I would want it to be a movie, but I actually don't think I don't know how it would translate. I don't know if it would be, because it's stupid whenever you have like voiceovers for a movie based on a book and they're kind of describing everything that was in the book and then you're just seeing it on screen. I can't stand that approach. I don't know, taking out a lot of the like interactions between the girls, and it's even more in the new version. I cut out a lot of that stuff before the carnival and changed it and made it faster, made it funnier, because that was the one complaint about Taste Like Candy, is that it started slow. So it's right out the gate. It's a mess. I'm very, very happy with it.
Nice. That's great. So did you know before you had this new deal come in with your publisher that you wanted to rework the book, or is that something that came up because you had the opportunity to do this?
Little from column A, little from column B.
Okay.
If this hadn't happened, I never would have done it. The structure of the book, I think, is fantastic. I think it's done really well. The characters themselves, I think, are really well, but a lot of the dialogue and some of the other stuff, I just was like, this is not. I wrote like I needed permission to say certain things, and now I don't do that. So I just took all of that stuff out. It's supposed to be like a 90s slasher, so I added an opening kill. Yeah, and I thought, because since I've written Taste Like Candy, I've been more obsessed with putting things like Jennifer's body, Jawbreaker, Heather's into the DNA of everything, not just slashers. So there's a lot more of that in there now. So the kills are still there, but now there's a little bit more Jennifer's body, Jawbreaker, etc.
So then if someone were like, I just read Taste Like Candy under Ivy Tholen. So if I were to read Taste Like Candy, Jessica Lacy, I'll immediately notice differences. It's not going to be like searching for the changes.
No, you will not have to search for changes. You will not have to search for changes. And there's actually an acknowledgement in the back of the book where I wrote the whole process down. And what I said is that if it had just been me, I still stood by the book. I still thought the book was worth being out there and worth selling. If I thought it was garbage, I would have pulled it. But I didn't think it was garbage, but it also isn't the best thing that I could do. I was more interested in moving on to new books, working on new things. So I was just kind of like at peace with Taste Like Candy being what it is, being what it was. But the second she said, well, we'll have to do new edits, I was like, yes, please. Yes, thank you.
I'm ready. I've got a list.
I know. And I went into Taste Like Candy 2 is going to be even worse because I don't like Taste Like Candy 2. So it ended up being where the writing I don't dislike, but the story and the structure I have an issue with. So for that one, I'm going to have to go back and kind of rip the book apart and sew it back together.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
I guess I'm curious, is the plan to basically let the current Taste Like Candy and Taste Like Candy 2 kind of just like sell out and then out of print? How rich are we going to get?
They were print on demand, so they're gone.
Yeah.
You cannot buy them. And I actually had somebody reach out to me to ask me if I could help them find a copy of something, one of the 4 books, and I don't remember which one it was. And they're not even there. You can't even buy used copies on Amazon, so I have no idea how to get them. Like I can't even
collectors. I've got
collector stuff
now.
Take care of this book.
I bought them all in print, so
Amazon will sell them to you with like a gray border that says not for resale. But I had to order a copy off of Mallrats. I'm happy they're gone because I want people to read the new ones. But
Yeah.
I feel really bad for people that wanted them and couldn't get them. But it was like it's in our contracts that they have to be gone for 90 days. And I was the one reaching out to them going, should I pull them? Are we doing this?
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, it's something for them to look forward to then also is the new stuff.
I think that I would rather have people reading the new one.
Yeah, and you have the opportunity, which I feel is pretty rare. At least I haven't experienced an author being able to do that. So
My like I said, my editor not into horror. I still haven't. I've never asked her why she decided what she likes about my work.
yeah, that is interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? And I think she specifically was like, I want to do horrors and thrillers, and she went looking. And I know she found me on Kindle Unlimited, which is fantastic if people don't have it. You can pay once and download as many books as you want that are part of the program on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she picked up at least two other authors at the same time. One of them, I can't remember her name. I know she has 7 books and she's reworking them all too.
Okay.
But like Mother Dear, I added a few things to, but didn't take anything out. I know I'm supposed to be like, buy my books, but it's the same books, pretty much more or less the same. So
well, that's good for people who want to read it and read it in its, I guess, original form. But
there were some small edits, but the biggest change is that they wanted to rename it, and we went through a whole list of names, and it was a big thing, and we did focus groups, and that was wild. But we ended up choosing the name Fatally Yours, which I love the name, but it sounds like a romance novel, and I had to make it work for me. So now we have, you've read it, right?
I have not. That's the
Okay,
only
that's the
one that I have not read. Yep.
Our main character's name is Katie Rose, and she is the killer. Like we're going from the point of view of the killer. It's a mother and daughter serial killer duo is the idea, and the book itself is based off of Father of the Bride. So it's
I love it.
It's a full Father of the Bride.
Well, I know what
slasher.
I'm doing as soon as we hang up. I'm going to pick up that book.
But there is a bit where, because Katie Rose is wacky, and she stalks someone using granola, and you'll understand, it's messed up. But she stalks someone using granola, and that person's name is Shannon, and Shannon is whisked away and disappeared because she's a threat. Like, she's still alive, but she's sent away because these are rich people and they send people away when they don't want to deal with them anymore. And she still writes her letters. So I've written a series of letters from Katie Rose to Shannon explaining everything like they're best friends, when in reality she tortured this woman, and this woman had to flee her home and her the state to get away from her. But she has these wonderful little letters, and we're printing them in the book to look like they're on Hearts and Flowers stationery.
Oh, I love it.
And I'm very, very excited. But each of them, she ends them with like distressingly yours and murderously yours and angrily yours, and the last letter is fatally yours. So I made it all work because everything needs to fit. I can't just slap a name on something and then be done with it.
And it's kind of nice at the end too, brings it back to the roll credits. We got the title.
You will always see the title of the book in the book with me. Always. It's so cheesy and I love it and I don't care. Somebody says tastes like candy and tastes like candy. We got Fatal Years in Fatal Years now. Mallrats has a whole scene about Mallrats.
Yes.
I freaking love it.
There's just that like little dopamine rush of like, oh, that's the title.
Yeah. I even put the title in other books. Tastes Like Candy, I think, is in Mallrats too.
Yes.
So was it your decision, or was obviously it came down to your decision, but in terms of dropping the pen name, what was the thinking behind that?
That was 100% me. I have a couple of discussions, but ultimately it was my choice. And basically when I published under Ivy Tholen originally, because like I said, I wrote these books for myself. I didn't advertise them. I didn't expect anybody to read them. But I knew if they were going to get read, people would find them. And I was afraid of people I know finding them in case they sucked. Or I was afraid of like having somebody Google my name 10 years from now and I had written this terrible book that will chase me forever. But obviously that didn't happen. And when it became successful, I was like, okay, I'll put my real name on it. I'm proud now. But I have a lot of issues with anxiety and privacy and all of that kind of stuff. So putting my actual name out there, hell for me. I don't do on-camera interviews. I don't do show my face on the internet ever. It is a picture of me in the book, but I don't do any of that stuff. My editor has never seen my face. It's just very difficult for me because you hear how easy it is to talk to me about this stuff, how easy I can just go on and on.
Yeah.
If I was having to look people in the eye, I couldn't do this. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like they talked about sending me somewhere to a convention or something, and I went, no, I can't do that. That's not happening.
Oh, so I'm never getting my book signed, huh?
I promised my agent that because we have the 4 books coming, and then there's one more. Taste Like Candy 3 is probably going to be coming 2027. And I told my agent, I was like, I'll look into anti-anxiety medication at that point if they want me going places. But if not, great. So that's kind of, yeah. And then the stuff that I write is not exactly like, people don't get it necessarily. So they're like with murder, you write books with murder in them. That's what a slasher means. Yes.
Yeah, you get that sometimes. Like, oh, what's your favorite genre? Death and murder. I don't know. It helps. I was just saying to Dan the other day, it's just been a very stressful month for me. And I was like, we haven't sat down and watched horror movies in a little while. We really need to sit down and watch some horror movies because my anxiety levels are way too high and that calms me down. And so we need to get back into it. So
I keep them on all the time.
Right?
I have a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 on mute in the background. Every single interview I do, any single podcast, whatever I do, I always have Nightmare on Elm Street 3 playing in the background. It's my lucky charm.
That's awesome.
Me soothed.
I have to ask you then, because Freddie was foundational for me, also at a too young of an age. But do you have a favorite?
Well, 3 is absolutely my favorite.
3, yeah, 3 is so good.
I can rank them all and tell you positives about every single one of them. Other than 3, I just really like the original 1, 3, 4, and 5 because they all blend together.
Do you like New Nightmare? I thought that was really cool.
I used to like New Nightmare. I don't like it as much anymore because I think it's too sad.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
Yeah, because Heather Langenkamp's husband in the movie dies, and he has a little kid that they leave behind. I think it's just, it's a testament to the movie how well it's done. I think it's an excellent film, but it's not one I throw on because it's a downer. I'd rather watch idiot teenagers try to turn into roaches with Freddy than deal with actual sadness. But the anxiety thing, I understand. The needing to do something because everything is so dark all the time. That's been another one of the jumping off points for me because I didn't have that in my head when I wrote Taste Like Candy, but I am so sick of horror that is just, it's just the real monster is trauma. Everything has to be a slow burn, and it's just you feel bad when you're done watching it. I didn't feel bad when I finished watching Final Destination in theaters, That didn't hurt me.
Maybe a little scared to be behind a truck for a while,
I cried because of Tony Todd's bye-bye speech, but I walked out of that theater happy, and that's kind of what I infuse into the books. I want people to be laughing and happy and ew. I want that reaction. I don't need people to be like, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. Because I don't think slashers are scary, personally.
Yeah.
Except Freddy, which might be why I like him the most.
So it's interesting that you mentioned, not really wanting to be public with your persona. Were there any, I don't know, issues or discussions about that with your publisher? Just because, in this day and age, I think hey, we want you to overexposure is the name of the game, right?
They were very receptive. I don't think that they understand that it's I think my agent kind of danced because I went to him. I was like, I can't do this. You need to understand that I can't. I'm going to try at some point. But right now you're lucky that I'm able to go on a podcast and talk to people. Pretty much the only thing that I've told them is don't tell me if I'm going on a podcast, if it's a written interview, don't tell me how many people are listening. Don't tell me how many people are reading it. I will talk to somebody if they have no subscribers. It does not matter to me, and it just will only hurt me to know. And they've been extremely because I also told them, I said, I'll do anything. You want me to talk to anybody? I'll talk to anybody. You want me to sign stuff? I'll sign anything. I got a big thing that I refuse to do, so I'll be extremely open to everything else.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's kind of how it worked out. Nobody has forced me or told me that I have to do anything, and that's fantastic because that kind of freedom it helps with the work. It helps with the writing. And I'm working on Tastes Like Candy 2 right now, and I'm not worried that if I put some girl's hair down a drain and waterboard her, that my editor is going to be like, we can't do that. I don't have that concern. I think pretty much the only restriction on me is that I can't publish YA thrillers, horrors anywhere else, which is fine by me. I've discussed doing middle grade with my agent, and I think maybe I'd like to do a graphic novel, but
that'd be fun.
I have the freedom to do that. But that was the only thing that anybody really ever said, you can't do anything. And I think that's something that has changed, because I read an article, it was an interview with Adam Caesar, who wrote Clown in a Cornfield, which outside of Stephen Graham Jones, I think is the most popular slasher novel out there.
Yeah.
He said when he was writing it, they had discussions like, would these parents really be killing their kids? Would this really be happening? Is it okay to show this? Like, nobody ever asked me if it was like, nobody ever was like, should you really be showing, the inside of someone's body in this way? Like, nobody's ever said that to me. So I feel like I'm getting away with something. But then I turn around and I have to say, oh yeah, this is fine for 14-year-olds to read, when I feel bad about that.
I feel like that's kind of a silly question to ask too, right? Like it's a slasher, it's a book. It's not meant to be realistic. Of course, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
like Clown in the Cornfield is crazy. Like a whole town going and like, no, I'm sorry, that's just not reality. So like, why would you ask questions like it was?
You have to suspend disbelief, and parents kill their kids all the time. Like,
yes,
all the time. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Tastes Like Candy 2, the first part of the book features a girl whose mom was a mommy vlogger, and who put her on the internet, and she didn't want to be there, and it really like psychologically ruins her in the book. And I wrote that because I think that's reality. I think some of these kids who are being forced onto the internet and paraded around are going to snap and kill their parents. I don't think they're going to go on a crazy killing spree themed with a carnival. But I do think that there's going to be kids that snap, and we've already seen kids have lost, like, sue their parents and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big Trekkie, and Will Wheaton has talked a lot about like his mother specifically exploiting him and using him as like being an actor. And he was in Stand By Me, and he was Wesley Crusher in Star Trek and stuff. And he was like, it was awful. My mother basically used me to like get famous, and it's, there is a real tragedy there, which is horrible. But yeah, that was also very good and Tastes Like Candy too.
Yeah, I really like it in book form.
I was like, yes, character building.
Well, it's just, okay, you're towing a line where you have to be realistic and also very unrealistic, and the reader has to go along with that. You're asking a lot. I'm asking a lot, where I'm like, you need to believe, I need you to understand that the people in this world don't remember this crazy murder spree from 5 years ago. Like, they've forgotten it. So I have to somehow figure out a believable way to come up with that, but then put it next to somebody getting eaten by a fridge.
Oh my God, that's just amazing.
And then Tastes Like Candy 3 is going to be my takedown of true crime. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, wow. I can't wait.
Well, I had a friend who, it wasn't murder, it wasn't anything salacious, but she had a couple of really horrible things happen in her family in a very short time span. And she ended up on a true crime blog. Like, because it was stuff that it was stuff like crazy people who search medical records, like funeral things, and go hunting. So they found this family tragedy and were like, here, let's put it on the internet. And it's nothing exciting. It's not like, ooh, somebody killed somebody. And she begged them to take it down because there were details in there that people didn't know. This is one of my best friends, and I learned things from this website. And they wouldn't take it down. They wouldn't take it down. And ever since then, I'm kind of like, if it's Jack the Ripper and none of them are still alive, that's one thing. But if this is affecting real people, I kind of feel gross about it.
Yeah.
And that kind of turned into not an intense hatred or anything like that of true crime, but it's just one of those things that I don't think people are really thinking through whenever you're watching fun videos of a girl putting on makeup and talking about a murder spree that happened 5 years ago, where the family is still like recovering.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of, I can't think of the word now.
Exploitation?
Yeah, exploitation, but also just like, I don't know. why isn't it coming to me? Like lack of empathy, I guess you could say. And just, and it's like, you can appreciate horror and the grotesqueness and clap when someone's murdered, but it's a little different when it's like real life and actually affecting people.
It's 100,000% different. I can't do real life violence at all. I can't look at like horrible photos. I can't do any of that stuff.
Same.
I genuinely think that horror fans tend to be a little more empathetic than normal people. Just because we do watch suffering and we're like, oh no, I wouldn't want to be in that position. So in real life, we can look at it and go, I wouldn't want to be there either. So I think it clicks a little bit better. Yeah. I've always found horror people to be very sane and normal people, and like comedians to be the ones you'd want to avoid.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're building empathy. They're building like some kind of shield of hiding your true personality. I don't know.
If you make them laugh, they can't see my pain.
That's exactly what it is. So they're suffering deep down inside. Every kind of horrible thought I have, it goes on paper.
So then, as a kind of a weird, I'm like an aspiring fiction writer, but have been writing like marketing copy for over a decade.
Oh, so, I'm so sorry.
So
I know, right?
I mean, yeah, it pays the bills.
That's exactly, yeah.
But I still consider myself like a very new fiction writer. In fact, Amber pretty much forced me to join a writing group almost a year ago now. And now that I have deadlines, because I like people are expecting me to produce work, I'm actually producing work. So that's been awesome and a lot of fun.
That's what happens. That's what happened to me with Taste Like Candy too. If I hadn't slapped a deadline on it, it wouldn't have gotten done.
Yeah, I've got deadlines. I've just like work off that. So it's been a lot of help. But I'm curious, as somebody who is thinking, hopefully of publishing, after I get a little bit better, would you still recommend like the self-publishing route? I really like what you did, where you're like, I did it all on my own and I put it out there and like didn't promote it and just kept writing.
That is extremely rare. To do it that way. There are a lot of really good resources on the internet. There's a couple of subreddits in particular. There's a self-publishing subreddit out there, and that can lead you to more avenues of learning if you're interested in that kind of thing. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for and what you're interested in putting into it. If you just want to put a story out there, polish it up, put it out there, see what happens. If you want to build a career out of it, maybe look at what you want that career to look like. Do you want to make money? Because self-publishing is a good way to do that if you're doing it properly. There's a lot of people that get into it like thinking it's going to be, get rich quick type of money. I've sold thousands of books, and I can assure you I have no money. I'm a normal person. So it's not that kind of thing. It's just a matter of, do I need to get this story out there? And for me, I was able to get all the kinks out of everything I was doing while also getting feedback from people, which was very helpful, because I am in my head all the time thinking this is the worst thing ever. I can't stand this. I hate every last bit of this. I don't ever want to, I want to walk away from it and never look back. But I also know I want to publish books and I want to tell stories. So it's finding a balance there. If that's who you are and you want to tell those stories, publish them. If you want to have a publishing career and you want to be on bookshelves and get attention and all that kind of thing, try querying, try seeing what'll happen. As long as you're smart about it and you don't get suckered by anybody, I don't think that there's anything wrong with either route. But if people are doing it to make money, they should not be doing it. But that was something I knew going in. I wasn't really expecting anything. I wasn't expecting any of this. I just stumbled in blindly. But I would not say don't do it, but I would not tell people to expect what happened to me to happen to them, because I'm also writing in a very specific niche. I'm also writing towards a group of people who speak the same language as me in a specific way. When people see the original cover of Taste Like Candy, the Ivy Tholen version, you can't not think R.L. Stein, Christopher Pike.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that was like the goal. So if your writing is like that and you come up with a story like that speaks to people, hell yeah. Try to, get somebody to publish it. And if it doesn't work, you might have a hit on your hands on self-publishing. It can go either way. I don't look down on self-publishing at all, and I can't say I won't ever do it again. So I don't know. If you want something out there and nobody else wants to put it out there, there's no reason to not put it out there, because I am of the belief that if I had tried to get Tastes Like Candy published in 2020, it would not have gotten published. I don't think it would have gotten published until now, after other people came out with slashers that were successful, and now they're trying to get more and more out there.
Yeah, and cotton candy horror is definitely on the rise as well. And
But
pink horror, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when I had my first marketing call, that was one of the things they talked about, was like, you're filling a niche that's not quite there. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's why I wrote the book.
That's why I wrote them.
Because that's also part of it. You could have the best book in the world, but if the people who are publishing it don't understand why it works, then you have to show them why it works. And that's what indie publishing did for me. I don't think that this exact group of people had their hands on Taste Like Candy 5 years ago, or even now, without it ever having been out there and had sales. I don't think that they would have bought this book. I really don't think so. I think that there's been, over the last 5 years in the industry, in this particular corner, there's been so much growth that they're looking for it now.
Good for you.
But that was also part of it, is because I was on the forefront. I was one of the people doing it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now all these other people. Yeah, thank you.
That's great.
Because we need more slashers, and we need more horror, and we need more variety in horror. So this is great.
We need more slashing in the slashers too.
We need more goofy light stuff. There's not enough goofy. There's not enough. There's not enough fun. Ultimately, I don't think that people are having a lot of fun nowadays, and that's really sad. And we should look for it where we can find it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like I was just saying, I'm so stressed recently. I would need to watch some horror movies.
If you're not stressed, you're not okay.
yeah. Then you're a comedian.
Yeah, exactly. You're shoving it all down, and in a couple of years, you're going to explode and die. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite deaths from your books? With obviously not giving away anything that you don't want to, but
no, I don't have a problem discussing the death. I'm not going to say the names of the characters.
Sure.
Oh my god, the dunk tank.
Oh
is one that sticks in my head. There's a really. I'm not going to spoil it for you. There's a really fun one in Mother Dear that I had to. I was so convinced that this had been done that I spent weeks researching it before I wrote it, and I tapped every single person that I know that watches horror and reads horror to see if they could find it. And it had not been done, as far as we know. And then a new TV show recently did something very similar.
Oh, funny.
But I was there first, so it's fine.
Okay.
But that one is another one. It involves flowers and a mouth, and that's all I'm going to say. But those two, and I think there's one in Mallrats that involves guts strung through a film projector. I was pretty proud of that one too, but that one had been done before, but I was fine doing it again because it's pretty generic. I don't know. I say things like that, and that's why I have to hide my face.
I'm kind of imagining you at a carnival eating some cotton candy and just looking around being like, ooh, there's a good death.
Just staring at the cotton candy machine. I wonder what this would be like blood flavored.
That one was entirely it came about because of the cover, because I knew the cover is based off of the VHS for Halloween 2. The old Halloween 2, not the Rob Zombie one. It's a pumpkin with a skull in it. And it's done in a very specific, very cool way. And when I went to Paul, I was like, I want it to be cotton candy, and I want it to be like this. That's what we went for. And I came up with the cotton candy kill after that, knowing that I had to have a cotton candy kill if I put it on the cover. So that's where the cotton candy.
It works on the cover, and it works in the story.
Yeah, and it's going to get a lot worse for Taste Like Candy 3 because I'm running out of ways.
You will find a way. There's always a way.
Running out.
So then I'm curious, for maybe you already mentioned this, but so Tastes Like Candy under Jessica Lacy, when will we see that, like the
September
first
9th.
one? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be on about a every 6 month schedule, because one of the things that I said was I don't want to publish one book a year. I want to publish 2 books a year.
Yeah.
And they said, good, that's fine. So it's going to be probably around September and April are going to be my release windows. Fatally Yours is suddenly available to pre-order. I didn't know it was going up, and it says that the date is the beginning of May. So maybe that's. I honestly I don't know any more than anybody else does.
Surprise! Get busy.
When Tastes Like Candy came up, somebody messaged me and they were like, "Did someone steal your entire identity?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's fine. You don't have to worry." They were really worried about me. I was like, "No, it's me. It's okay." And I had no idea it was going up. I was not warned. And then people were messaging me like, all your work's been stolen.
You should kill a character named Ivy Tholen.
Ivy Tholen is going to become a character in the books.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, I love it.
I'm putting her because the way that I've kind of worked it out is there's going to be one set of books that are set in the 90s and one set are present day type of thing, and she's going to be in the 90s, and then she's probably not going to make it out of there. And then the library in Beldam in the present day is the Ivy Tholen Memorial Library.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's great. That is peak.
Everything. This is what I'm saying. Like everything has to be woven in because it entertains me.
Yes, that's great. I love it. Because I was going to ask, like, how are you taking Ivy's death?
I'm going to memorialize her.
Good, as you should. What a good Easter egg, especially for like new readers who don't necessarily know, that you have this. Oh, I love it.
I want them. I don't want them to be things where you have to have read all of the other books to understand them. They're just when people do read them, they're like, oh, okay. The beginning of Fatally Yours / Mother Dear is triggered by the events of Tastes Like Candy, for instance. I won't say how because I don't want to ruin that for anybody, but the Tastes Like Candy directly leads to the events in Fatally Yours, even though they're completely unrelated. So you don't need to have read Tastes Like Candy to understand anything about Fatally Yours. But if somebody has read Tastes Like Candy, they're reading Fatally Yours and they're going, "That's the Tastes Like Candy girls." So
okay, well, I definitely know what I'm reading next.
That's really nice. I feel like that's a great way to do it.
So much for my TBR. It just got thrown out the window.
It's a very fast read too, so you'll fly right through it.
Okay.
It's my favorite. I think the general consensus of people that have read the books and not just Taste Like Candy, I think people like Mallrats the best, and I think Mother Dear Fatally Yours is probably the best written thus far. Okay. I'm scared about what's going to happen to Mallrats when I get into Mallrats. Because that's just as old as Tastes Like Candy, and I actually haven't read any of Mallrats in years. So I'm assuming
I just read that. It's a fun read. I love it. Well, you'll know once you get back into it. But especially if people love it, it's a really good book. Don't hurt it too much.
I'm not. No. I don't want to. The one thing that I'm not going to do is destroy like cool stuff in the books that people like. I don't think that the stuff that I took out of Taste Like Candy, I don't think anybody is going to miss. And I think that, like, for instance, James and Violet, two main characters. Violet is our final girl. James is her best friend. In the original book, they meet in junior high and it's kind of whatever. Now I have them meeting in elementary school and it's a little cuter and it's a little like fun and it goes faster and it's a little bit easier to read. So it's kind of anything that I took out, I tried to add back in, but better. I don't want to be like, I don't like the cotton candy kills, so I'm just going to take it out. Like, I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. I don't want to ruin what people like about them. But because people like Mallrats, the next new book that we're doing is going to be set in the 90s as well. It's going to be set slightly before Mallrats in January of 1999. And then all of the 90s books are going to be loosely connected. So I have a whole thing. R.L. Stine did something like this, and I didn't know that because it was after I stopped reading Fear Street books. R.L. Stine did something similar with the Fear Street seniors, where he had a whole class, and the book had pictures of their yearbook photos, and at the end of the book, they crossed out the people that died.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I love it. He's so clever.
I know. God. Because I had been mentioning Fear Street a lot, I started going back and rereading them, and I can see where. If you read Fear Street and then you read a little bit of my stuff, you can see the DNA there. Like you can see that R.L. Stine trained me well.
Yeah, I gotta get back into those.
Does Claire suplex the liquor in the updated novel?
Suplex? What does that mean?
It's like the wrestling move where you like slam someone behind your back. I just wanted Claire was so awesome. She was one of my favorite characters, and I wanted her to do like a pile driver or something.
No, but she does have more comedy in this one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she and Violet have an exchange where she's like, Violet, whenever you get a hold of that, you get through therapy, we'll talk about that.
Nice.
So she is definitely one of the characters that improved. Lolly, I think, becomes a red herring now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because she's very sweet and innocent, and I keep remarking upon that early in the book before the murders start. So she's a fun red herring. I think Claire's always been a red herring. She always was supposed to be a red herring. Emma, the diner waitress, she has a slightly expanded part. The girls who planned the senior scavenge are now in the book. They were not in the book before. They were mentioned. They were not in the book before. You will be seeing them again in Tastes Like Candy too, but not for long. This is spoilers, so if people have not read these books, don't listen to this. The Ferris wheel at the end is absolutely batshit insane now.
It already was.
No, Blythe is fully puppeting the dead bodies and like having a full thing.
That poor girl had such a bad breakdown.
Her death is that was one of the things my editor was like, can her death be more? Can it be more? And I said, okay. And then I made it more, and it tickles. I've read it because I read a lot of the stuff out loud whenever I'm working. And I've read that particular chapter out loud probably 10 or 12 times to tickle myself to see if there's things I could change or add to. It got more ridiculous. It got goofier, but it also got bloodier and gorier. So I think it balances out.
That's awesome.
I'm so proud of the Ferris wheel scene now. It's so stupid.
The crescendo, so
I think cinematic. Cinematic is the word that we used for it. The improvements. That one needed to be better, and I think that the dunk tank is the other place where it got a little extra love, because that's another one where it was like Violet was kind of just standing there watching it happen. And I amped up her reaction, and I amped up Blythe, and it got I didn't change anything about the actual what is happening to James, the body, the death. But the stuff that I changed for Violet and the stuff that I changed for Blythe made it so much more intense that it's actually hard for me to read now.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. It didn't add any gore. It didn't add any violence, but it's so over the top with what Violet is going through. It's fantastic. I'm praising it because of the people that helped me get it there, not my actual work, because people were like, this is what the problem is here, and I fixed it. So it's my editors, it's my beta readers. They're the ones that help me find that. I'm not bragging about my own writing.
No, that's okay too. And it's good. It's good. Very good. So yeah, I remember in that scene, I just kept like thinking, oh my gosh, what if Violet had like smashed the tank and it actually like exploded, and like what would happen? Oh my God.
A nightmare. That's what
yeah. Blythe's like, no, wait, what? It wasn't the plan.
This wasn't supposed to happen like this. But you get the busted dunk tank in part 2, so and that's one of those things that is probably definitely going to change. Is the ending of Tastes Like Candy? I don't like it. It's going to be the same but completely different. That's what I've been selling to people that have been asking. It's exactly the same book, but it's totally different. Exactly the same, totally different.
I love it. It definitely gets people wanting to read it.
Yeah. I just feel bad that there's people out there that have read it. I feel like, hey, you want to read this book you've already read? Because I wanted people to have a reason to want to pick them up again. And Mother Dear I didn't feel that bad about, because not too many people have read it. But Tastes Like Candy, a lot of people have read, and I almost feel guilty asking people to read it again. But if you're going to read it again, this is the one.
I think that'll be fun. I mean, like Amber had said, I don't know of any authors who like have published work out that kind of gets, like a remix or however you want to describe it. So
that's a fun way of putting it.
Yeah.
The cogs are turning. I hear the cogs.
I already it's exactly the same, but it's totally different, is actually stolen from Charlie XCX. She had a remix album of her album Brat, and it's called Brat, and it's completely different but also still Brat. So I was using that as a jumping off
Oh,
point.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, it is like a remix.
Still tastes like candy.
But a different flavor candy. Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to circle back to the very beginning because I didn't finish my story about finding your book in Powell's.
Oh.
And when I picked it up, I loved the cover and I was flipping through it and then I eventually noticed that it was self-published. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, this is so professionally done. It's so great. I love it. So I picked it up, I brought it home, I bought all your books, and I was like, as someone who just finished a program and wants to edit for horror authors and
Mm-hmm.
probably more likely self-published ones, I was like, man, I want to reach out to this person and talk to them about what it's like and how they did it. And then when you reached out and said, hey, let's do an interview, I was like, wait, what? Like the one person I've ever thought of reaching out to. I'm like, wow, it must be meant to me. So I
No,
really, really
it's
appreciate you doing this. This is
it's actually
awesome.
interesting to hear that, because I've been working with non-horror people, and it's actually it kind of sucks. Like, everybody I work with is great. My editor knows exactly what she's doing. The books are better, blah blah blah. But it's also nice to be able to, like, this is actually inspired by Sleepaway Camp 2, and them have any idea what I'm saying. Like, because
Right.
that's
Yeah.
the because we were talking, because they always compare books to movies, and the easiest comparison for Taste Like Candy is Scream meets Mean Girls. Very easy.
Oh, yeah.
However, lots of books that are not really slashers have been using Scream meets Mean Girls. So we kind of wanted to stay away from that a little bit, because it doesn't I don't want to get lumped in with everybody else whenever I'm doing something completely different over here. So we were
Right.
comparing different movies, and she suggested Saw, and I was like, I don't have enough time to tell you why we can't use
Yeah.
Saw.
I mean, I love this book. It's not Saw. that's
um
that's
yeah. Yeah.
you could,
Um
yeah.
she, to her, Saw is extra violent, and I think
Okay, yeah.
that's what it is, because she doesn't watch horror movies. But it would be amazing if more people who are editing specific genres and editing, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, if they were fully, like, it would be amazing to have somebody who spoke my language on the team. So that is an incredible thing that is needed, in my opinion. I don't know if other publishing houses have that going on, but to me, it just feels like they're so focused on romance and
Yes, or
stuff like that.
romantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And I can't stand any of that. I don't read any of that.
Same.
Good for y'all that are out there that like it. I am not one of those people.
Yeah. I
So it
feel you
feels
there.
like a lot of the people who get into publishing are into those kind of things, or they're into, like, heavy literature, and they want to, next great American novel. I don't
Mhm.
know that there's a lot of editors out there working at, it just feels like it'd be hard to get. I don't know. It just feels like it's hard to find somebody
Yeah.
working within the genre who also is able to edit and see, yeah.
That seems crazy because horror is so great.
Yeah, well, and it was funny because even in my program, everyone's reading YA, romantasy,
Yeah.
romance, some science fiction and fantasy, and I'm like, y'all know that's not a niche. Like, it's not the niche you think it is when you're all are reading the same thing.
They're like the number one selling genre. Like, that's what
Yeah,
sells.
yeah,
Um,
but that's boring. I
I
mean,
think
I
so.
don't know. Yeah.
I'm not, like, I have slasher movies on my television probably 16 hours a day in the background. Not
Yeah,
that's an over whatever, but I do have something horror related on my television, at least in the background, once a day,
yeah.
which sounds crazy, but
I mean, you find your thing, and that's great. There's something for everyone out there. But
it took me,
yeah,
just because I didn't have time to sit, it took me 2 months to read Grady Hendrix's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls,
yeah.
which is
Time
not
is
a
mean.
it's not a 2 month book by any
No,
means. I'm reading another
no.
YA horror right now that it's taken me, genuinely, this thing should probably take me 5 hours total to read, and I've been reading it for 3 weeks.
Don't you hate that?
I
Like,
do.
yeah, I feel that. That's how I feel with movies. And I'm like, I suppose I could just do what you do and just have them on, regardless if I'm paying attention. Just like my comfort background, I can turn and see, Freddie or Jason or Michael and
I
be like, oh, my boys are in the background.
I work with movies on all the time. I've gotten ideas. There's something new in Taste Like Candy. There is a scene in the original Taste Like Candy where Violet and Gracie are in a security office, That security office is now completely drenched in blood and has writing on the walls because
Yes.
I was watching Shocker by Wes Craven while I was working, and they have a scene where there's somebody in a bathroom and there's blood all over the bathroom and there's crazy stuff written on the walls, and I was like, why don't I have something like that? And I just went and added it. But it's really, if you're writing, if you're, if it's what you want to do, submerge yourself in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's smart.
8:30 p.m. horror goes on, and it stays on.
The bewitching hour when it's dark out and
yes, it is time.
Like the night owl comes out.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. This was
this has been awesome. You can look forward to Taste Like Candy. You can get it anywhere September 9th, and you can request it from your local library if you would like to read it there. Fatally Yours, aka Mother Dear, is coming in late April, May of next year, and then Taste Like Candy 2 is next September, and we're doing it all again. First new book is going to be, I believe, April, May 2027. I think is when that one is coming, and that one is Heathers meets a bunch of 90s teen comedies with a bunch of blood. I can't tell you what specific teen comedy I'm going to be aping for that one because it will spoil everything. But you're going to think you're reading one thing, but you're really reading another.
Love it. We're
We're definitely
much looking forward to
it. Yeah, as we say that at the same time.
Yeah,
really like just what I've read of yours, and looking forward to reading that Tastes Like Candy again. In its new form, and appreciate this conversation we've had.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. This was, like I said, I don't know. You were the one person I wanted to talk to, and here we are, our first and probably only interview. I don't know. We'll see.
You never know. You summoned me. So
yeah, I think I did.
When I am summoned, I appear. That's just what happens.
Well, hopefully I can mentally summon you on your book tour to not skip Portland, because it keeps happening and I don't like it. But
if I was going to do it,
yeah,
it require a lot of medication.
Well,
oh my
if
goodness.
and when we can, I'll keep summoning. I'll keep practicing my witchcraft. But we really enjoyed chatting with you, and look forward to seeing all your new and new-ish for me, because I've read them all stuff. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Have a great rest of your summer.
Yes, y'all too.
Okay,
right,
take care.
See ya.
Well, if you've made it this far, then we didn't scare you off. Thanks for listening to Dusk to Dawn, reading horror and weird fiction.
Please rate our podcast, and if you like, follow us on Instagram at Dusk to Dawn Podcast, which is also our Gmail address. Tell us what you liked or didn't like about the show, and let us know if you have any book suggestions. See you next time. Bye.